In this session, I'm going to demonstrate Centurion Technologies SmartShield local client interface. To help me do this, I have a virtual machine running Windows 7 with SmartShield loaded onto it. To interface with the GUI for the SmartShield, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click on this icon. That is a red octagonal shaped icon, and I'm going to hit configure. It opens up to the protection mode screen, and this is where we can change our protection modes. Currently I'm in an unprotected mode, so it's going to say protect. If I would click on that button, it's going to ask me for my password, and I can enter that in, and then it will ask me if I'd like to reboot now or later. Upon the reboot, the protection mode change will be completed, and the computer will either be protected or unprotected. If it is protected, the icon will turn green, and if it is unprotected, it'll be red. To change the passwords for the local SmartShield client, you will do it right here and enter in your current password, and then you enter in your new password and then verify the new password. This can also be done remotely through the Smart Control console. You can highlight this individual client and change the password, or highlight a whole range of clients to change the passwords for all of them. We have a lockout section for SmartShield, and this top one deals with USB blocking. This first option gives the administrator the option to block all the USB ports on that machine. I could still hook up a mouse, a printer, or a keyboard, and those hardware devices would still function normally. If I unplug them and stick in a thumb drive, that thumb drive would not function. We have an advanced setting. This advanced setting is more commonly used than the full USB blocking setting because you can get more specific. As a matter of fact, you can choose up to 17 specific types of USB devices. If I wish to block an audio device, I can do that, or a video camera, I can do that. I'm going to leave mass storage device open because, again, in most cases our organizations want to leave that open just to make it easy for the users to save their work. And since our software is on there already, it's going to protect the machine from any kind of malicious data in the form of a virus or worm or anything like that that is entered into the machine. And after reboot, all that will be wiped away. So the majority of customers that we work with leave the mass storage open, again, for ease of use. But it's up to you and your circumstances. You can certainly choose to block that. Obviously, you're going to leave human input devices open, such as the keyboard and mouse, and there's obviously a variety of other ones that you can choose from, but I do want to bring everyone's attention to the wireless controller device. I bring this up because we've had organizations that have encountered users that come in to a public computer environment and they bring a wireless controller with them unbeknownst to the administrators. The user sticks that onto the back of a computer, like say it's underneath a desk, and they stick it onto the back of the tower where it is not clearly visible for the administrator to see. And on that wireless controller they have installed a keylogger. So what's going to happen is they are logging all the keys that are entered into that computer real time, and they're transmitting that data directly to their website, therefore bypassing all the internet protocols and security of that organization, because again, with the wireless controller they are getting direct internet connection. So we recommend that you block the wireless controller to prevent circumstances like this from happening, or at least at a minimum bring your attention to this possibility. The FireWire blocking option here is very similar to the all-encompassing USB blocking. It's going to block all the FireWire ports that you may have on that computer. Our stealth mode setting is the last section of the lockouts, and this basically is going to hide the software or make it visible for a user to see. When the stealth mode is activated, our icon will be invisible, and again, you're going to need a hotkey to make it populate itself. When it is deactivated, that icon will be visible no matter what the protection mode. My suggestion is that you do activate your stealth mode, because if your user does not know the software is on there, they're less likely to try to mess with it and maybe find passwords. We have a Windows Update setting, and basically what we do is we will manage your Windows updates when this box is checked. So we can run your updates every day or whatever other day of the week that you wish to run. And we could choose whatever time on the hour to run these updates. And we also give you a maximum minutes allowed for the update to occur. If I choose 60 minutes for this update to occur, The process is as follows. Let's say each update takes 10 minutes and there's 6 updates to run. At Sunday at 12 a.m. the computer will disable the protection, the keyboard and mouse blocking will kick in, and the computer will then reboot into an unprotected mode. Once the reboot is completed, the keyboard and mouse will still be blocked, and that is because we do not want anyone to interface with this computer while it's in an unprotected maintenance mode. So that's why we block the keyboard and mouse. Again, there's 6 updates, and each update takes 10 minutes, so 6 times 10 is within the 60 minutes, so we have no problems to run these updates within the maximum minutes allowed that I've chosen. Let's say the 6th update takes 15 minutes. Well, once we reach 60 minutes, we still have 5 more minutes to go, and we will not stop the process just because we've reached 60 minutes. We will actually complete that update, 6 of 6 or 5 of 5 or whatever update it's on. Once that update is completed, then we will stop. Now, if the opposite happens, and let's say we're at update 5 of 6, and once we complete 5 of 6, that took 58 minutes. So all we have left are 2 minutes to go before we reach the 60-minute maximum duration. We will stop after update 5 of 6 and not start 6 of 6 because we want to be as close to the 60 minutes as possible. We will do all the necessary reboots during the update process, and we will download all the updates that do not require human interaction. Once that is completed, we will again reprotect the computer, reboot it, and then the keyboard and mouse blocking will disable. And now you have a protected computer with all, or the majority I should say, of the Windows updates ran. This setting can be manipulated remotely as well, so instead of having to walk to this client to set this, you can do this remotely. Our Smart Control section is where the connection is going to occur between the client end side and the remote management. You can point to the IP address or the computer name of wherever our Smart Control resides. And you can load the Smart Control Resource Manager, which again is the remote management side of things, onto a server 2003 or 2008, or a computer running XP, Vista, or Windows 7. The default port of communication is 25553, or you can choose to use any other available port to you, and you make the same adjustment on the Smart Control side. Storage configuration. Under the Directory Exclusions tab, we give you the ability to omit a directory or subdirectory from our protection. If you highlight these directories, that directory is now going to be unprotected, or it's going to be omitted from our protection, and whatever that is saved there will be saved after a reboot. This could be very helpful for administrative machines where you as the IT administrator are having to constantly clean up those staff computers or those administrative computers, and this is going to allow you the ability to allow them to save as normal without having to work around our protection. Also, depending on the type of antivirus you're using, you may be able to unprotect that directory and allow your updates to come normally, real time, without having to create the unprotected maintenance window. But again, that does depend upon your antivirus and where they store their definitions. Another option to save locally is our persistent storage drive. This is an unprotected partition that you can choose to create or choose not to create. Again, it's a local way to save information, and it's a more isolated way to save information if you don't want them to save directly to whatever folders that they're normally saving to. So again, this is more of an isolated way to save locally, and you can change the size of this persistent storage area. You can change the drive letter. You can change the mount status as well. You can move my favorites in here, my documents, emails, and other things of that nature, again, to save that after a reboot. The last thing on storage configuration is our protected drives option. We give you the ability to protect multiple partitions, all except the C drive. If you need to manipulate the C drive protection, you still have to go up to the protection mode and change it from there. So if I get a new computer and I create a B partition as my backup partition, that will display itself here, and I can choose to protect or unprotect it from here. The last item is our miscellaneous configuration, and what this allows the administrator to set is anytime a user logs off of Windows, the computer can be set to do an automatic reboot. And this basically is going to provide an unspoiled computer experience for each user in concession. So if I have user A come on and make changes, as soon as they log off, all those changes are wiped away, so that way the computer is nice and clean for user B when he or she logs on. This concludes the SmartShield demonstration. Hopefully this was helpful, and thank you for your time.